Hi everybody, this is Carla, and this time I'm here to do a review for episode 9 of season 1 of Shadowhunters. This episode is titled Rise Up and You Guys. I love this episode so much! I'm so happy that the show has actually bounced back from the disaster that was the previous episode, but I really love this one. I love that it dealt with the characters themselves. I've been saying for a while that, I did certainly say it last episode that when this show goes off book in a way, that when they have to make stuff up in order to just stretch things out so it can actually last the whole season, that they don't really have a good handle on that. I have to say maybe I'm wrong about that, because this episode was pretty much a lot of filler as well. A lot of it was filler, really, and it was still damn good. And I think that this might actually top episode 5 for my favorite episode so far, because I love the way they dealt with the characters, and maybe that's the key. Maybe they have to focus on the characters for the show to be good. You know what I mean? It's like, don't bother trying to make up plot points that don't necessarily work. Just focus on what the characters are feeling and what the characters are going through and how the characters interact with each other. And then you might actually be able to pull this off in a good way, because this episode was really good. And I just love so much what they did with the characters here. And I know a lot of people are going to complain because Alec, just refusing to help Jace or fighting against Jace. I know a lot of people are going to be out of their minds about that, but I actually quite like it. Because I think it's okay that Alec, he's my favorite character, okay? And I think it's okay that Alec has to have his moments where he doubts not just himself but everything around him. He's in such a complicated position right now. His entire life he's been repressed, and it's not just the whole thing with Jace. Yes, that is a major factor, certainly, but his whole life he's had to be repressed because Shadowhunters just can't be gay, and certainly he can't come out and be an embarrassment to his family in that way. And then Clary comes around, and he's been doing everything just to prove that he's not who he thinks he is, because he thinks what he is and who he is wrong. His natural inclinations are wrong somehow, or that they just don't gel with the Shadowhunter crowd. So his entire life he's been trying to do what Shadowhunters are supposed to do. He's trying to be the quintessential Shadowhunter in a way, not just for himself but for his family, so that they can be proud of him. And he wants to put the Lightwood name out there. His entire life has been built on these columns of being the best Shadowhunter he can be, and being the best Parabatai he can be. And right now he's the entire foundation of his beliefs is kind of shaken in a way, because not only the thing with with Jace has kind of gone bonkers, because Jace now has a girlfriend, and obviously his feelings for Jace were kind of almost revealed, even if Jace hadn't admitted it up until that point. And then not just the Jace thing, but he finds out that his family's in the circle, and then this whole thing with Magnus that is kind of also drawing him in when he doesn't really want to. And he's in such a position where staying true to himself and helping Jace and hanging out with Magnus has put him in a position that it goes against his primary beliefs as a Shadowhunter and as a Lightwood. And I think it's okay, because when Alec is dealing with things that are important to him, and both these things are almost equally important to him, like his family and his Shadowhunting abilities are almost as important to him as his own well-being and his own happiness. So when he has two things that are so important to him and they come into conflict, he might actually if not do or take the wrong action, he might actually at least consider taking the wrong action. And we all know that he's going to come around, right? So, and I'm saying this from the vantage point of someone who has read the books after Sea of Bones, right? I've read the entire series, so I know that Alec does have those moments, not necessarily exactly what happened here, but later on he has moments where he doubts, if maybe doing the wrong thing can get him a good outcome in a way, and just kind of go against his gut in that sense. I know it's happened in further books. I won't actually spoil it for anybody, but I like to see that. I like to see that conflict in him, and I know that he's going to come around, so I'm not entirely bored. I'm not like, oh my god, they ruined Alec's character, blah blah blah. No, they didn't. He has a moment. He's having issues right now, right? So let him deal with those issues. And I think Matthew has been doing such an amazing job with Alec that I can't help but just love everything that comes out of his mouth. And not just because he's gorgeous to look at, but also because I really feel that the feelings inside Alec are actually coming through. Which is kind of really awesome because Alec is not a touchy-feely kind of guy. You can't really know what he's feeling from looking at him, or at least that's the way it's supposed to be in the book. But I think Matthew communicates those feelings without necessarily losing the more quiet and introspective side of Alec, which I really love. I mean, he's doing such a great job. And with this, and his interactions with everybody in this episode were so great. I mean, when he was talking to Isabel, when he's talking to Magnus, when he's talking to his father, when he's talking to Lydia, I think he's doing such a great job, and I love this episode exactly because of that. And even with Jace, man, I mean, his whole arc in this was pretty darn good in this episode. As far as Isabel goes, Emerald is amazing. Okay, I think she's one of the people who are consistently good through the show, even though the writing has its ups and downs, and some of her castmates have their ups and downs when it comes to performance. I think she's consistently one of the good ones, and I really liked her scenes in this. I do feel, though, that they're kind of playing the Million thing a little bit too serious. Because, yeah, they were dating in the books, but it wasn't, serious, and that's actually something about Izzy that comes out later on in the books, that she dates guys that she doesn't really, not that she doesn't care about them, but it's just that she knows that she can't be with. She dates unattainable downworlder guys, so I think, maybe they're taking the Million thing a little too seriously. I do think that she would have definitely supported him regardless of whether they were still dating or not, regardless of whether she loved him or not, because she's a good person. So I can see that she's feeling guilty about getting him in that position, and she's feeling kind of like it's her responsibility to get him out of it in a way. So I like that. I thought she did a really great job. Her argument with Lydia was A+, man. She was so sassy, so great, and so sharp, and I loved her in that scene. Then we have the whole Simon thing, which, mind you, I wasn't very happy last time that they turned Simon so early, because I do think that's a, season sort of step, but I guess if they're going this way, I can't really do anything but watch. And I think Alberto is playing the whole confusion, disgust, anger thing really well. I mean, again, Alberto, just like Emerald and just like Matthew, he's been one of the cast members who have done incredible jobs every single episode. No matter what crappy dialogue they're given, they're good always. So he's such a great job portraying Simon's just the myriad of emotions that are going through him at the moment. So it's good to see that. I am one of those people that really like Raphael. I think he's cool. I mean, I know he's evil, but I think he's cool. I really loved, like, every scene that Raphael was in was great. His whole banter with Luke and the werewolves and, the trash talking. I thought it was really great, man. I think not just Raphael, but the whole dialogue in this episode was really great. I didn't have any, like, lines or moments that just kind of stood out as really awkward to me. It was really good dialogue, overall in that way. And even in that one scene where the Downworlders, the werewolves and the vampires are kind of trash talking each other, and it's almost a fight, and then Clary bursts in and breaks it up. There was one line that stood with me, and it's Simon saying, like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna be hated everywhere I go now. I guess I have to get used to it. And Claire's like, no, don't get used to it. I thought that was really awesome, because in a flash, that was like the Clary that I know and love and wanted to see all along. So that's pretty great, and I think Kat did an amazing job in this episode. I know I've been down on her a lot through these reviews, because she doesn't always hit it exactly right, and a lot of times it makes me cringe, the things they have her say. But I thought she was really great in this episode, and it's got everything to do with the fact that she got a better script, to work with. I think this episode was really good in that sense, and I think when she gets good dialogue and good scenes, it helps her tremendously, and she can actually be really good if she gets good stuff to work with, so props to her as well. And then there was Jace. Jace was good. I think there was only one line that I was kind of worried about that kind of made me go, huh, really? With him, and it was the whole Switzerland thing. He says, Jace Wayland is Switzerland. Really? That came out a little bit weird, but for the rest of it, he was actually really good. So no complaints from me there. I thought even his scenes with Clary, the kids, were actually pretty okay. They didn't make me cringe or anything. They were pretty good. And his confrontation with Alec was awesome, okay? I tell you, you put anyone with either Matthew or Alberto, and they just bring out the best in the rest of the cast. So that scene with Alec was awesome. I really loved it at the end. And I think I saw somewhere on Twitter yesterday when people were live tweeting the episode, there was a lot of comments that were like, oh, Parva tears, and I'm like, really? It made me laugh. So when I saw that scene and I saw them like really intensely just trying to get the other one to react the way they wanted to, and Jace is like, go ahead, kill me. I don't want to live in a world where we're in opposite sides. I was like, okay, I get the Tears thing. That was pretty good. I really liked it. I enjoyed the way they did it. Again, the whole Minion thing, I don't know where they're going. Like, how does Minion know where Valentine is? Is he going to, like, portal them through the Sealy realm so they can just appear in Chernobyl? I don't know. I think he's okay as a side character. He doesn't really call out to me the way Raphael does. But I did think he was kind of creepy when he was being interrogated by Lydia. He was actually kind of creepy when he's like, oh, maybe you don't know your own people. And they, like, had the lighting around him. He looked really creepy in that scene. So I thought that was kind of cool, because the Sealy are always represented as, like, really beautiful people, like, attuned with nature and stuff, and very delicate. And so they can be really freaking creepy when they want to be. So I like that they played it both ways. As far as the speaking of Raphael, by the way, I guess I wasn't sure, because in the book it was Raphael who turned him after all, who turned Simon. So I wasn't sure why they had done, like, why they had used Camille in this one. But then it seems like Simon actually kind of thinks that Raphael turned him, or that Raphael is his sire for some reason. Maybe it was just because Raphael buried him. But then I started thinking, what if they're going to pull some kind of switcheroo on us? Like, because we saw when he was turned was Camille going to attack him, but that doesn't mean that she necessarily finished him off. Like, she could have left 2 droplets of blood and then Raphael sucked them out, and that's all it was. Or they could just go the way that the one who buries him is his sire, in a sense. But I don't know what they're going to do. It seemed kind of, it stood out to me that Simon kind of thinks Raphael did this to him, that Clary has to explain. So I wonder how they're going to do that. Also, I have to say that I really love that scene with Clary and Simon when Raphael takes them to the hotel and puts them behind bars so that nobody eats them. Just that entire conversation was really great. I thought they did a really good job with that. And the acting was powerful from both Alberto and Kat. So I really enjoyed that scene overall. And even Lydia, like, I know a lot of people are probably like really like trying voodoo dolls on her or whatever because they want her to die and get the heck out of the way so she doesn't interrupt Malik. But I thought, I don't know, I do hope that she doesn't turn out to be evil, because with these things I never really know. I just kind of speculate and then I turn out to be wrong. I'm hoping that she's not evil. She doesn't turn out to be evil or working for Valentine or something. Because I actually really do like her. Like, whenever she talks about her fiancé, the one who died, her husband, the one who died, I actually really feel for her. So, I'm really hoping that she doesn't turn out to be evil. I'm kind of imagining that she's going to die, to be honest. But whatever. Magnus, Harry was great in this episode. I loved his conversation with Alec when Alec reveals that he's, engaged. I thought Harry did a really good job of, like, playing the angle that he's kind of disinterested in it. It's like, oh, well, whatever. But then you could really see that he was hurt. So props to him for that. And just overall, okay, I've been speaking for 18 minutes about this. I really have to, like, start shutting up. But I just really love this episode. They had such great character moments, such great character interaction. Just Clary and Simon and Jason and Alec, and then there was Magnus and Raphael and the werewolves, and I thought the whole thing was really cool and really good, not cringy at all. And I think this is one that I'm going to be rewatching a lot because I really enjoyed it. I'm not willing to say yet that it has become my new favorite episode because I've only watched it once, but maybe in the future it might become my favorite episode of them all because I really, really enjoyed it. Honestly, guys, I'm so glad, and I know that this show has been inconsistent. Like, the previous episode was a crap sack. That's as much as I'm going to say about that today. But then they bounce back, and they give me hope that maybe they can do justice to this thing as they go on, and hopefully by the end of the season, when it rolls around, it might actually be a pretty good climax of the season. So, looking forward to it. Really excited to watch the next episode now because they did so well in this one, and definitely going to rewatch this one a few more times before next week rolls around because I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too if you watched it. So, yeah, that's about it. As usual, be sure to visit our website at thegeekypub.com. We have reviews not just for the previous Shadowhunters episodes, but also for other TV shows, books, movies, games. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to check it out. Browse around, you'll find something you like. And also, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel because that's usually where our reviews go up first. Most of the time, even before they hit the website, they're on YouTube. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you won't miss anything, and you will be notified as soon as we upload anything new. And that's it for me today. I will see you guys in my next review. Bye!